Hello, and welcome to my writing nook. I'm Emma Catherine, and I'm excited to be joining Authortube and doing the Authortube newbie tag started by Janice Tree. Today I'm going to go through and answer a few of the questions about myself, my writing, and just my general process, and how I ended up with a 17-chapter work in progress in less than a year. I did jumble the questions around a bit between the newbie tags 1.0 and 2.0, and I don't think I'll answer all of them, so just a disclaimer on that. And if you do notice me, I'm looking a bit this way. I have my scripts down here on my laptop, so that is the reason I'm looking that way, because if I didn't have a script for most of my videos, I don't think anything coherent would ever be said. Moving on. I apologize for the talking in the background. My family's making dinner right now, so if you hear somebody else talking over me, that's why. The first question I wrote down is, what is your book's pitch? Okay, I don't think I could do this on the fly if my life depended on it, so why don't I read the little blurb I've written out here that will hopefully be on the back of this book someday. A 19-year-old girl spends her summer uncovering a dangerous old secret about her family's past in modern-day Newport, Rhode Island. While searching for her missing mother, Celia and her best friend search for clues and discover a castle deep in the woods where they find themselves something much greater than the mystery they had first sought out. And Celia discovers a bit of charming devotion almost everyone saw coming. That is the general premise. I feel like it could still use some improvement, but that's what we're going with right now. Okay, next question. What's something you'll never write? Probably horror or nonfiction. I'm not a person that enjoys being scared, and although a lot of my writing has a factual basis, fantasy and fiction will always be my thing. What do you usually write? Like I said before, fiction, mystery, and fantasy. This particular book is kind of a romantic found family plot, which I love. I'm working on keeping the subplot, which is the romance, in its place and trying to bring out the mystery aspect, which I'm having a little bit of trouble with, but maybe that's the way it should be. I'm not particularly mad about it. Fourth question. If you were a book, how would you pitch yourself? That's a good question. I had to think about this quite a bit while I was writing down these questions. It's probably something like, incredibly unserious girl stumbles through life making bad puns, eating a ridiculous amount of soup, and would pet every animal on earth if she could. Is that a good book pitch? Definitely not. Does it pretty well capture my personality? Yes it does. 2 questions together this time. What's your goal for starting an Authortube channel, and what are you bringing to YouTube? Finding community and like-minded friends is the goal, and what am I bringing to YouTube? My personality, honestly, if that makes sense. There's so much I love beyond reading and writing, but they kind of go hand in hand. I am a major nerd through and through. I love crime and mystery shows, old cartoons. I am admittedly a child at heart and simultaneously a 65-year-old woman. I'm learning to make my own clothes. I bake cookies on the weekends, and sometimes I need a cane to help me walk, but we'll get into that another time. What made you want to start writing? Honestly, I'm not even sure. I've started stories and very minuscule plots of books before, but this past year is the very first time I've actually committed to writing, and I'm honestly not even sure why. I've just felt drawn to it. I like to let the universe decide what happens in a lot of things they do, and I feel like it's telling me just this is what I should be doing, at least right now. Next question. What is your publishing path? Self-publish, traditional publish, hybrid, haven't decided yet, or just write for fun? I honestly have no idea. I haven't looked into publishing much, but I do hope to get this book out eventually, so if anyone has any tips, I'd appreciate it. If you're new to Authortube, what is your biggest question? The first one I can think of is, where the heck do you guys get your video ideas? Because I need help. Next up. Are you looking for any new channels to follow, betas, or any other type of writer buddies? I'm always looking for new channels to follow, and writer friends would be amazing. For betas, it's definitely something I'll be looking into eventually, but I don't have a lot of information on the process yet, so if anyone has any tips or insight, I'd appreciate it. Alright, are you a plotter, pantser, or plantser? Lots of information in this question, so bear with me. I definitely fall under the third category. I tend to plan out the important bits and randomly discover everything else as I go along. I have 2 different main documents when it comes to my writing. The first one is my book, and the second one is this massive running list of ideas and prompts for this specific story. I have a tendency to write dialogue first and then work from there, And the thing that's a bit differently is that I don't write linearly. I take a prompt from the list and expand on that as much as I can, and then build these paragraphs up until they connect to continuity, and then I copy and paste them into the actual book. Are you self-published, published, or yet to be published? Yet to be published, hoping to self-publish someday, if that works out how I think. What authors have inspired your writing the most? I can't think of a particular set of authors right now, but my biggest book inspiration is definitely Tuesdays at the Castle by Jessica Day George, which is these books. I read the series as a kid and absolutely fell in love with it. I haven't read it in years, but my 13-year-old self was absolutely enamored by it. So this is definitely my biggest inspiration for loving fantasy. Okay, I need to stop fooling around. Do you type on a computer, typewriter, write everything out by hand, or use a blend of those? And where do you write in general? I do the initial writing, planning, and general annoyance of lack of ideas at my laptop. But this is the passion project. This is my transcript of the book. This is my terribly inconsistent handwriting. And eventually I will finish it and make a cover. My dad has been a bookbinder for over 35 years, and it looks like I've got the gene too, because I cannot believe that this was actually possible. I think I have 70 pages in here, and I have a lot more writing to do as my hand and wrist pain permits it, because I have this work in progress is specifically this specific work in progress is 17 chapters, as I said before, and over almost 68,000 words, and that all came out of here, which terrifies me. Wow. I'm going to put this away and we're going to continue on before I have an existential crisis. So I think that is the last question I have here, and that wraps up this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.